okei, tervist PÖFFi hundid, olete sattunud taas PÖFFi televisioonilainele ja minuga on siin PÖFFi stuudios filmi Muscle režissöör Gerard Johnson ja näitleja Kevin Clerkin. So, welcome to the PÖFF Festival, Black Nights Film Festival.
Very lovely to be here.
How are you guys?
Really good, really well. Good. Yeah. Enjoying the Estonian weather.
So we already talked about the premiere yesterday. What were your biggest fears with the premiere?
I think, biggest fears probably because, I think in a way the film is universal, but there's certain elements of it that are very British, with certain dialogue and everything, and there's a humour in there that, again, this is the international premiere, so it's the first time we've shown it outside of the UK. So to know whether that humour can travel, and it did. And at the premiere, it was lovely because there was a lot of laughter, and also I've been very careful in trying to not give too much away in the way that it's a black comedy, but I don't want to sell it as a comedy because it's not a comedy, but it's supposed to be funny, so there's that element of I want people to laugh, but also when you describe something as a comedy, suddenly you're setting yourself up as a film that it's not, but it's supposed to be quite funny in certain areas, and I think yesterday they totally got that, the humour, which was, for me, was brilliant. So it means that it's universal.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Estonians have a sense of humor.
They do have a sense of
They
humour,
do.
and very similar to ours. I'm moving here in the next couple of weeks after Brexit.
That's great. So, would you say this movie is a good first date movie?
Excellent.
I love it.
Yes. I think if you've got a girlfriend and you're worried whether it might not work, take her to see Muscle, and then you'll find out whether it does work or not.
Especially the swingers party as well. That could be a great first date, embarrassing first date.
So
scene.
no or yes?
No. I don't think it is a good first date movie, to be honest. I think, you'd have to know someone really well to take them to see Muscle. Because they'd be like, why have you taken me to see this horrible film in black and white?
Yeah, okay. Are you guys gym goers by any chance? This film, by the way, it talks about a lot about gym culture. So,
yes.
how is your relationship?
Always been a gym goer for many years. Different kinds of gyms, I've been a member of lifestyle ones, also very spit and sawdust ones, and over those years of just going to gyms, observing characters in the gyms, observing different characters, and that's where I originally got the idea for Muscle. It was observing guys that were very aggressive in gyms, and I remember one guy at one gym that I went to would just shout across, he'd be lifting weights and someone would be over the other side of the gym and he's like, no, put that down, very aggressive. And I was like, God, there's a film there, and I think since I had the idea, obviously gym culture has exploded. Everyone goes to the gym now, everyone has gym membership, everyone knows about nutrition. So it felt like the right time to make a film about gym culture, because there hasn't actually been a film about gym culture. And I always thought, well, why not? There's plenty of boxing movies been made, there's plenty of films been made about baseball, but why not about actual
testosterone and guys
in gyms
and sweat? More films about sweat.
More films about sweat. So my next one is about a sauna, by the way.
Well, there's a sauna scene. We've got a sauna scene.
But it's all set in a sauna. Two men can't get out of the sauna.
I like it. Can I be in it?
Yeah.
So
would you lose 3 stone by the way.
So this is mostly based on your own experiences, but how did you proceed to write the film, or how was the process?
So yeah, the telesales stuff when he works in the office, his day job. I did that job and sold those makeovers. So I made those phone calls. With the gym stuff, it was who I'd observed and yeah, again thinking about a personal trainer, you know, seeing how the whole personal trainer thing has taken off, you know, how people have personal trainers. And what if a personal trainer was so aggressive, but you know, that you were also a bit torn because you were getting bigger, but you were also being abused. So I think I started with the idea of the personal trainer, and then two scripts kind of joined together of the telesales
Okay.
yeah, that became a smaller part of Muscle, but that was something that I was working on always of like doing this horrible telesales well. So instead of it being Glengarry and Ross, it sort of moved into Pumping Iron more.
Okay. So would you say like the mashing also created kind of the mash of the genres, like comedy and thriller? Or
Yeah, well, I always like to mix genres and always kind of feel that trying to subvert genres, like taking a genre and then doing your own take on it. I mean, Tony was about a serial killer, my first film, but it was more of a social realist take on horror. You know, it wasn't a horror film. It was more, what if Alan Clark directed a serial killer movie? Or what if Mike Leigh directed a serial killer movie? How would that movie be? And that's how I always wanted to do Tony. And then with Hyena, I guess it was more of a straight cop thriller, but still I wanted to create a very dangerous world, a very sort of toxic environment. And with Muscle, I don't kind of know what genre it is. It sort of fits into psychological thriller, black comedy. There's, you know, it could be a lot of different, and that's what interests me. Not just, you know, the worst thing anyone can say to you is you're a genre director of a certain type of movie, because I think I'm interested, apart from musicals, I'm interested in directing.
You don't want to do music?
I don't want to do music.
so Kevin, how did you get into this project?
I went for a casting. I met Gerard. I got
You didn't
sent
have
the
any
script.
relationship with him?
No. I got sent the script. Obviously, I knew his work, and I'd been following him for quite a while, and so I was very excited when I got the script. And then I read it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And I really wanted to do it. And we had quite a fun casting, didn't we? It was.
We had a very fun cast. He attacked the producer.
And
In character.
yeah. So that was good, and then we actually done a play together.
Oh.
We got the casting. I've done the casting for the film, and then he was doing something else, and we went up to Edinburgh and done a play in between making the film as well. So we got to know each other.
Which was brilliant for the film, because by the time we did the film, we'd already worked together. So it was like in that space of time, you got the part of Simon. Before we filmed, we'd already had the shorthand, you know?
Yeah, so we were like...
So you knew.
Yeah, so we felt very comfortable on set, and we had a trust there that was
So
really good.
thing that I would like to know is your transformation for the movie. I think that was pretty visible to the eye. So how much did you work out, or what was the period?
Well,
like?
unlike Gerard, I'd never been to a gym before, so which was great for this part, because there's a certain naivety about Simon, the character Simon. Like, he doesn't know anything about this world, and he's gone into this world. And for me as an actor, it was great for me, because I was also going into this unknown world, and there was a bit of pressure in the sense that we shot for 2 weeks, and then we broke for 12 weeks, I think, just to get as big as I could in that time.
Okay.
And yeah, it was quite stressful in the way, because if you got injured or you got hurt along the way on the process, it wouldn't have worked. You know what I mean? So I had a great trainer called Serbo who was very gentle with me and took me through this process, and it involved a lot of eating. That was the worst thing. Actually, the gym stuff was great. I loved it, but the eating was just. I don't know if you've ever tried to bulk up before, but
I just been to the gym 2 months ago for
Oh,
2
right.
months, first month, so not really.
Well, yeah, you like when I first got the role, I thought, oh great, I'm going to be ripped. I was like, oh, I'm going to have abs, and then I slowly was like, no, it's
reality.
not. And then he started showing me the pictures, which were just like bulky and big, and I was like, oh, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a lot of eating. I mean, by the end of it, we were doing about 8,000 carbs a day, like not calories a day, not carbs.
Yeah,
Like, lots of carbohydrates, and then just trying to lift as heavy as you could, as I could. But you know what? I'd love the experience. I go now. I never went to the gym before, but I still
still
go
doing
now.
it?
Yeah, I don't eat. I don't do the eating.
Great.
But I
I'm happy for you.
yeah.
I really am. I'm curious actually also about the soundtrack of the film, which I found like really good, especially in the party scenes. So I'm wondering like, how did the music influence the scenes, or which came first?
For me, I prefer score that's actually comes from the fabric of the film, that it's created for the film, rather than you're putting in an emotion of a song to create a response, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I think, as I say, Scorsese has used it very well over the years, but coincidentally, the Irishman doesn't use much. It uses more score that's composed for the film. And yeah, I think I wanted it very poignant, beautiful score. It's quite sad in a way.
Yeah, minimal is also.
Yes, very like stripped it really down. Like for Hyena, we had a lot of synthesizers and a lot of like it was very sort of grinding in certain areas. But obviously, even the party stuff, it needed to feel like you were going in a almost hypnotic journey.
Yes.
To do with the swingers, and the music was just like repetitive and just. Hopefully, that's come across.
One thing that's very interesting about being on set on the Gerard's films is that there's always music while we're making the film. So while people are setting up cameras, he'll have a special playlist that is just on. So there's sounds and there's music going on. And in the film, there's I'm walking around with earphones. Do you know that? So every time we do a take, he'd pick the track. He wouldn't tell me what the track was, and then I put them in and walk off, which was great. Just in terms of like the emotion of the scene as well, it really helps. This bit of music that just it's fab. It's
Music
really
is very for me. Directing music is incredibly important. Like just because again, it's shorthand of like getting into that emotion. And there's so much noise and clutter on a film set. So many people like talking over each other, and to like have a loud music over the top of it, for me and the actors, and for even the crew, it just creates this atmosphere where you can't escape. Where it's like as soon as you cut, people are chatting and getting on with their stuff, and it's distracting. How can you stay in the zone? How can the actors stay in the zone? How can the director? The only way you stay in the zone is by loud music that shuts out all the noise, and all of the crew are just like. They're in a rhythm and they're getting on with it because they're almost in with the music. For me, it's I couldn't do it. I couldn't direct without that.
That's awesome. So we have to wrap up, but maybe the last question: why should women go watch this film?
To get a better understanding of toxic masculinity.
Oh.
Yeah, I think why shouldn't they go and see it?
I don't know, maybe they will be confused.
Huh?
Or maybe they will be enlightened.
Well, the thing is, Crystal, again, like people say, like, last night people said there's no female characters, and it's like, for starters, it's set in a very rough gym, and there are no female characters. But the female characters that are in the film, Crystal, for instance, she's the strongest person in that movie.
I agree.
She absolutely rules the roost. She controls Terry. She controls Simon. She calls the shots. So, if you're talking about empowered, strong female, then the film has that. You know,
agree,
it's not necessarily that she's working out in a gym, but she absolutely controls those men in that house. And it's not misogynistic. The swingers are there, they're enjoying themselves. Anything in that film that's not misogynistic, it's a film about a relationship between two men, basically. But it's certainly not, it speaks volumes of what's going on now in the Me Too movement, I think.
Listen, I have a lot of questions, but there is no time, sadly.
We'll do it at the bar.
We can do it later. So thank you, Gerard and Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the
Great,
film.
thank you very much.
It was
Cheers.
an experience.
That's very, diplomatic. Yeah.
One way of saying I hated it.
No, I
I'm
enjoyed
joking.
Nii et siis olime siin stuudios filmi režissööri Gerard Johnsoni ja näitleja Kevin Clarkiniga filmist Muscle ehk Jõumehed. Nii et Jõumehi saab veel näha neljapäeval 28. novembril. Nii et krabage kindlasti endale piletid ja minge seda vaatama.